Malaria has been a really tricky target for the world's vaccine makers. The parasites that cause the disease are prone to mutations that allow them to develop resistance to some existing treatments. But now there's a second vaccine that in phase 3 trials was 75% effective. The vaccine was tested in 4 African countries among 4,800 children, and if it's funded properly, then it would be on the market by mid-24, which is big news because in the most recent figures from the WHO, there were 619,000 malaria deaths in 2021. That year, 247 million new cases, 95% of them were in Africa. Children under 5, the most vulnerable group. And in 2021, they accounted for nearly 80% of all malaria deaths in the Africa region. That is 1 child death every minute. Let's speak to Professor Peter Hotez, Dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine, Co-Director of Texas Children's Hospital Center of Vaccine Development. Thank you for coming on the programme. Just how significant do you think this is?
Well, here's why it's so significant is that this is, as mentioned, the second malaria vaccine. The first is also quite good, and in fact, there's a lot of similarities between the first and the second. The problem with the first is it's been harder to produce at scale. It was first licensed in 2021. Only about 1.8 million doses have been delivered. This next version 2.0, which came out of research at Oxford University's Jenner Institute, looks like it could be scaled maybe around the 100 million dose per year. So
and is
this
there the
means
funding
that many
for it,
more
Peter?
children could be...
Is there the funding to get it out there at scale?
Well, that's always going to be a big question. You know, who's going to pay for this? Do the African countries, the African Union have the support? What will be the commitment from the G7 or the G20 countries? Clearly, they'll need the support. But the other good thing about this vaccine, the version 2.0 out of Oxford and the Serum Institute of India, is the cost is relatively low. We're looking at $2 to $3 a dose, and that's because it uses a yeast technology similar to our COVID vaccine, which was also about $2 to $3 per dose, and we got 100 million doses administered at around that same level of support. So you're right. If you talk about $2 to $3 a dose, 100 million doses, $200 to $300 million is not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money, depending on how you look at it.
Peter Hotez, I'm sorry to squeeze you. We're out of time going to the break, but thank you very much for coming on. Big news and lots on that story on the BBC website. Go and take a look at that. Big news for the continent of Africa, of course.